The DigiPrime demand and supply forecasting service implements an application for forecasting the demand for remanufactured products and the supply of post-products. Basic input for the service is product sales data that can be uploaded via Excel files. The service is using statistical methods, for example time series analysis, regression analysis, and seasonal factors, in combination with stochastic product life cycle models, to forecast the expected quantity and quality of returned products or their components. The service was validated in close cooperation with the project partner Knorr-Bremse based on real data. In this video, the result of the development of a dashboard for the demand and supply forecast service are presented. The shown functionality is developed in the context of the DigiPrime research project. Started in January 2020 and funded by the European Commission, the project is planned for 4 years. The dashboard as user interface of the demand and supply forecast service allows the user to select the method to be applied, to select and filter the database, to set the frame parameters, and to start the calculations. Furthermore, the results of the demand and supply forecast service are graphically visualized, and statistical key figures are determined. On the dashboard homepage, the user can select one of the two initially implemented methods, exponential regression or forecast. Depending on the selection, the corresponding user interface of the method is displayed. The user interface for forecast can be divided into 4 sections: linking and selecting the data, filtering options, graphical representation of forecast and raw data, and evaluation KPIs. The required data can be created on the DigiPrime platform. To do this, select Supply Demand Forecasting from the menu on the left side of the DigiPrime website. A new data set can be added via the button New Supply Demand Forecasting. The attribute's name and status must be specified, and then data can be added to the data record via the Attachments field. A click on the Save button completes the creation of the new data record. If we now switch back to the dashboard and reload the page, the dataset just created will also appear in the drop-down and can be selected. In the Dataset field, all projects created on the platform are listed. In the drop-down named Input File, the files stored in the respective project are again displayed for selection. If the data source is selected, the sheet and the columns containing the data to be examined can be selected by the user. The field sheet lists all the tabs from the connected Excel. In this example, there is only one sheet available. In the X-axis field, all time columns available in the Excel sheet are listed. The Y-axis field, in contrast, lists all available numeric columns. The filter column and filter value drop-down fields can be used to set filters. It is possible to filter by specific columns and finally by specific values of the selected column. As soon as all fields in the upper area are filled, the calculation can be started with the given settings by clicking on the Calculate button. When the calculation is started and the demand and forecast service has returned the results, the data are visualized in a chart displayed as a zoomable scatter diagram, with corresponding mouse over info. The graphical representation includes both the visualization of the provided raw data as points, the calculated forecast, and the range needed to reach the confidence interval. To get a better overview, settings can be adjusted. Start and end date are not changed in this example. The default value for start date is the earliest, for end date the latest date in the connected data source. For example, the interval can be set from daily to weekly, and the length of the forecast can also be increased, in this example to 100. The value set here always refers to the currently defined interval, in this example to weeks. The value for the confidence interval can also be parameterized. By adjusting the value to 50% and clicking on the Calculate button, the display will be adjusted again. In the forecast dashboard, there are 2 different calculation modes: the forecast mode, that we have just considered, and the evaluation mode. In this mode, the evaluation end date must be selected as an additional parameter. The end date above must be set to an earlier value than the evaluation end date to start the calculation. The forecast will now be calculated for the time between end date and evaluation end date. In the evaluation area, the results from the forecast calculation can now be compared with the real data. In the evaluation mode, important statistical KPIs are calculated in addition to the visual representation to better evaluate the result quality, as seen in the lower part of the web page. the calculated results and also be uploaded to the DigiPrime platform via the Upload Results button and downloaded from there later. In this video, the possibilities of the forecast dashboard were shown. The procedure for using the exponential regression dashboard is similar to the one shown in the video. To have the most profound idea of future demand and supply patterns is crucial in avoiding unnecessary production or transportation of goods. Hence, the deployment of a dedicated forecast mechanism is directly beneficial for a more efficient and effective operation of remanufacturers or recyclers.